is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm
Oh,
married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
Hey, everybody, it's Jake.
Hey,
That's Tyler.
Am I making a pirate broadcast? Because I only got one headphone. Like a eye patch. Never mind.
That's what you want this to start? Wow. All right.
Well, I forgot my
Episode
headphones.
118.
And,
All I
so,
have is a gaming headset.
yeah.
But it's only
So it's one
ear.
ear. So I'm like, that was a long way to go for a joke and not worth it one bit.
Episode 118, everybody. What a firing start. We got
I'm Tyler.
I already I like that's a running gag now where I've already introduced you.
That's Jake.
Thanks.
Okay, so what's in store this week, partner?
Oh, wow.
Let's just go off the deep end. Fuck it.
Yeah.
This is not your typical show.
It's 118 episodes.
It's
at this
108.
point.
You know what? That's exactly when most really long-running sitcoms decide to change everything. They fire the stars, bring in ringers.
Your contract's up, man. So let's talk about the first bit of news. So we got a couple news
You want me
topics.
to do a spit take with my shake?
No,
So
but keep
messy.
sucking it directly into the mic. I love it. Hey, what's in my mouth? Anyway, first bit of news I want to talk about today. What a firing start. I think this might be the best start in show history, if I'm being totally honest. It took us 2 minutes to have a mental breakdown live on air. I'm impressed. And it's recorded. We can stop this at any time. But we're going down, baby. Burn it all! Best Buy has decided to kill physical media at their stores. So this was a statement from Best Buy. Quote, "To state the obvious, the way that we watch movies and TV shows is much different today than it was decades ago. Making this change gives us more space and opportunity to bring customers new and innovative tech for them to explore, discover, and enjoy." End quote. So, yeah, Best Buy starting next year. So they're going to sell during the holiday season, and then after this, they're pretty much going to kill off Blu-rays and 4K.
Okay. Yeah.
HD, like Ultra HD Blu-ray. It's. I feel weird about it.
Hey, Best Buy. Go to hell.
Whoa.
You go right to hell and you die.
You know what, Best Buy? As far as I'm concerned,
You can eat a big bag of shit.
and I think this.
Wait, do you have the damn thing up?
Oh no, I don't.
What in the fuck?
You know what, man?
Oh, fuck you. Yeah, pretty much to Walmart.
was really-
Oh, Best Buy.
Sloppy.
Who cares?
Well, Walmart.
They're all the same.
Funny you mentioned that because Walmart also just released a statement saying they're going to stop selling physical video games. So we are seeing.
It's for theft. Guaranteed, man. Guaranteed.
The Blu-rays I
it's
understand,
theft.
but the games are locked up.
Yeah, but I mean, if you don't have a physical copy, whether it's locked up or not, if you have a physical,
I mean, sure, it has to do with theft in some way because
Right.
they put the cheaper game, but the video games are almost always in a case
right? So now,
unless they're really cheap. They're
Right.
like $15 or something.
Now, granted, you're absolutely right. Almost every game in those places is locked up or has a case around it or some sort of anti-theft device, what have you, right? But if you don't have a physical copy on the premises, there's zero chance that it can be stolen because there's no physical copies to take. Even though all of those measures are in place, they're probably expensive. And guess what? Now you can fire one or two of your electronics people, you fucking vultures.
Wow.
Oh, you don't think it's going there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's. I think on one hand, I understand the business decision to focus on tech
Sure.
because you're probably making a lot more money on all the the phones, the cameras, the
Shit.
the
Every time somebody has to
microphones.
go in and buy a new pair of earbuds,
Yeah.
AirBuds,
They're all-
AirPods, what the fuck ever.
AirPods,
Who cares?
Bluetooth headphones. That's what you could have
Sure,
said.
Sure.
Get it together, man.
No, I was. Oh wait, no,
Well,
you can buy those
I
at
wanna
Best Buy.
Well, I want to talk about this from a Blu-ray standpoint because I'm in a weird spot because I feel like with all the streaming services, we're doing the same stupid shit we did with cable, and you and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I kind of want to go back to just buying Blu-rays of things I want to watch because my Blu-ray collection isn't that big, and it's only movies that I actually watch again, and I want to keep watching. You know,
the issue is that
I cherish my unrated
Right.
copy of RoboCop.
Well, you're right to be a little worried to say, hey, wait a second, now hang on. Now the more that if Best Buy, which is a huge chain and accounts for a lot of physical media, if they're going to say no, then who's to say that the companies are just going to stop making physical media entirely? And I'll tell you why that's not going to happen. I'm saying, like, okay, Best Buy doesn't do it.
Physical, I feel like.
I feel like that too.
Because Target hasn't said anything about what they're like. They haven't
Target fucking rules, man.
But as far as we know,
dude, but vinyl is has made a huge comeback. Like, we have a bigger vinyl section. There's a bigger vinyl section at a lot of these stores than there is anything else. Vinyl is a thing now. I don't know why. It's incredibly cumbersome and stupid, to be honest. Did you get the wrong size fucking... Is that on there tight?
Yeah.
Your lid.
On my smoothie?
Yeah. Looks like you get the wrong size.
And that's the thing, too, is I think there's always going to be a market for physical media.
I think so.
And I still like the novel. Like, when we did... Last November, when we did the... Was it 25 years of Starship Troopers?
Yeah.
And I bought that Steelbook Blu-ray. Like, that was cool. But you know what? That market will still exist. There's Shout Factory. Does a really good job of remastering and you all right? Sorry, I was distracted. Tyler was choking. Are you good?
I almost died.
All right.
And you just finished. Okay.
I completely lost my train of thought. But what?
No, you're talking about physical media.
I think there's always something to having that physical media in your hand, having that Blu-ray disc in your hand, having that video game in your hand. There's something to that. I mean, shit. I have a PS2 and I was playing ESPN NFL 2K5.
Yeah.
And that's a physical
newspapers. There's still newspapers. You can still go buy newspaper, even though most of their budgets have gone to the online arena.
It's going to be interesting on
I love having a newspaper.
The used...
I haven't read a newspaper in years.
The used gaming stores and the used Blu-ray stores, it's going to be interesting or the pawn shops, it's going to be interesting how they start pricing physical media because it's going to be a little less accessible because it's not going to be a Best Buy. But again, I think this decision was made strictly on business of being like, these don't make us enough money.
Yeah, absolutely.
It might still be profitable for places like Walmart because Walmart's never said anything about stopping doing home video like DVD or Blu-ray. They're just not doing games. And that's fine because they're still like, I still look for that stuff. You do too, but I'm wondering how these...
Dude, I'll dig through those fucking $5 DVD bins, dude. You can find some gems in that shit.
But yeah, exactly. That $5 bin is going nowhere.
No. There's a $3.74, and then there's
it's like
a $5
for Blu-rays.
Yeah, Blu-rays are like $5. It's like, oh my god, like what? I just found a fucking, And
then there's some movies there should be a Blu-ray of, and you're like, why isn't this a Blu-ray yet? But
it's because they're stupid.
I don't know. I kind of want to get because I used to do that too. I would get like 5-6 movies and I'd spend like $20. And they were, again, if you look at my shelf, are movies that mean something to me, movies that I really enjoy. And
the movies that really get you hard.
The market is changing again, and I think that you're going to see, like we talked about, price hikes because of the strike. I think they're going to use the strike to...
Of course.
It's going to just all because of... Yeah, I don't even
know. Well, hey,
we
still live in a world where
I want physical media to still be there. Right. I don't want it to go anywhere.
Well, we still live in a world where corporations trump everything that anybody else wants. Seriously, what's going on with your lid, man? Why is it like off?
Why do you just do the podcast?
Because it bugs me.
Why do you gotta fucking...
It's bugging me.
Come on.
Also, that loud rattling upstairs, wherever the hell that is.
Jesus, man. So unprofessional. So anyway, I want to ask you a question. What's the last physical media you bought?
Ooh, that is a good to be physical. Okay.
Yeah.
God. I want to say it was like a compilation, like a Monty Python thing that I got at Walmart for like $20, and it was like the entire series or something. Because now you can get those things, and I used to when I went into Walmart, I used to go through the DVDs. And now I just don't do it anymore. Just walk around and see what's there because
you just think about it on streaming.
Right. Well, there's that, but also, their selection isn't as good. It's gotten way smaller, obviously.
And you can find better stuff on Amazon, to be honest.
To be truthful, yeah.
That's where I got that Starship Trooper Blu-ray.
But they always have. They still have a lot of Walmarts. Still have that like TV series / movie sets. Example: all 3 Austin Powers movies for like $10. You know what I mean? Like
the triple pack. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. 4 of the 10.
Or they'll have like random 3 Adam Sandler movies together.
Will Ferrell extravaganza.
I have Dumb and Dumber and The Mask.
Right. Yeah. You know exactly what okay. So sometimes they have like compilations of entire series. They have like Battlestar Galactica, which I would love to get because I fucking love that series. When I would find the time to watch it again, I don't know. But that's like $40 there, and I think that's probably the last thing I bought. And when, year and a half ago, more than a year ago, within the last 16 months. But
because now I think the last physical thing I bought was the Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy video game.
Okay,
that came out a couple years ago.
And you bought that?
I bought that on my birthday.
Because I was about to say, it was G.I. Joe, the animated movie on Amazon. Like, that's not physical, dude. No. That was my first thought.
No, but I'm just laughing because I said that my Blu-ray collection are movies that mean something important to me, and I want to watch them again.
We closed the door, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Again and again. And I look at them, and one of them is Real Steel. Did you ever see that movie?
I still haven't. It's Rock'em Sock'em Robots, isn't it?
Oh, but it's so good. It's a lot better than it should be.
It's Hugh Jackman.
It's still a silly movie.
Sure,
and
but it's Hugh Jackman.
It's still a family movie, so it's still kind of cheesy and stuff. But it's a fun movie, honestly. And that should be a fun retro review one of these times.
Sure.
Maybe even a commentary.
Okay, so let's put that Batman and Robin.
Oh, yeah, because you haven't seen that.
I've never seen that, and I've never seen Real Steel. I'm gonna have to find a couple movies that you've never seen, and we'll have to do some bonus commentaries.
Which reminds me, I need to get the. I have the 4-pack on DVD. But
we should just do an entire Coen Brothers retrospective one of these times.
Oof. You got 4 hours anyway. No, but just right there are some good stories of.
4 hours
of how much we
more like 4 days.
How much we still have value for physical media, dude. Prey that came out on Hulu a year later, just a year later, like a couple months ago, it finally released physically because there was a fan demand for it, and I'm gonna get it on Blu-ray. So because I have every Predator movie except for Alien versus Predator movies, but
all of those
I gotta complete my collection.
All of those streaming series have physical copies. They put out seasons of those on DVD.
You can buy seasons of Daredevil or something like that.
Of course. I mean, there's still a market
Daredevil,
for it.
How's that
what
for
a fucking segue.
Yeah! Whoa.
Segue from hell. Yeah.
We should have. So, this came out last week, which annoyed me because it came out on Wednesday and we record on Tuesdays.
Fucking dicks.
Fuck you.
Fucking dicks.
But it's Daredevil Born again, because bad things were coming out from Daredevil Born Again.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, so the Hollywood Reporter was the one, I think, to break the story, but it was talking about Matt Corman and Chris Ord, which were the showrunners, and they said Marvel pretty much said this series resembled a procedural rather than the bloody and action-packed version of Daredevil that first existed on Netflix before moving to Disney+. Cox reportedly didn't don his Daredevil costume until the 4th episode, which...
Okay, he didn't don it until almost the end of season 1.
Tyler, he shouldn't...
First of all.
He's just got a new suit, Like he's gonna be in that Echo show.
And how many
like, he's
episodes
active-
again is it? 18?
Yes, and they had it,
Okay.
They had about 8 done, and they killed it. Marvel killed it.
Here's what I will
I'm
say.
okay with this.
I'm okay with all of it because people who have made a lot of the stuff that I love are in charge of this. So, okay. I understand the whole, okay, he's got a new suit, all that stuff. But I don't know. I'm okay with it. But using that as an example of how bad the show was, that doesn't hold water with me. I don't give a shit.
So-
There's 18 fucking episodes. You can have 14 with him in the
But I
fucking
think
suit.
here's the thing.
It's 13 because he does it at the end of the 4th, so he's not even. Shut up.
You shouldn't need to resuit up though. You should. He's active being Daredevil again by
But
the
what
time
is
that
this-
we see him in She-Hulk though.
Right, but what is this? When is this set?
It's gonna be after She-Hulk.
Are you sure?
I feel like, yeah.
Because Daredevil Born Again, I mean, I don't know what they're doing. Are they scrapping the
Because
entire...
season 3 was pretty much Born Again.
Right, but are they scrapping the entire Netflix run? Are they bringing
No,
anything?
it's supposed to be a continuation of that.
Really? Because I
'Cause
heard...
his character in She-Hulk is a continuation of the Netflix character, and that's supposed to, like they're not wiping that from canon. That
Okay.
was always because that was always tied to the MCU. Those movies had some sort of attachment to the movie.
So here's what I say. So you give him... So you see Daredevil, you see Matt Murdock when he's absolutely at his fucking lowest. Okay? And it takes him 4 episodes to get back to where he can don the suit again. That doesn't sound like the worst fucking story in the world to me. But again, people who have made a lot of the stuff that I love made this decision, so I'm okay with it. But who knows? It might not have been as bad as...
It might not.
It just
have.
doesn't sound that bad to me. Like, hey, let's get rid of an eight episodes that have already been made bad.
Well,
Also, it's going to take longer to see Daredevil again. Fuck you. Do the boo, fuck you.
well,
Boo, fuck you.
it would have been delayed anyway because the actors are still on a strike. So,
Oh, fuck you. One more time.
oh no, hit the wrong one. No, can't do it. It's too many.
Sloppy.
But
Boo, fuck you.
That's
To
true.
the studios. Dude, you're going to lose
really
this
wait-
one, too. You're going to lose this one, too. Anyway, back to Daredevil.
on one hand, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of where you sit, where it's like it's okay if they wait at 4 episodes, but again, if we're continuing, and that's the plan, they're continuing after She-Hulk because I think She-Hulk was a way of saying like, hey, Charlie Cox is back. Well, technically, No Way Home was, but this was a bigger role because No Way Home was just an Easter egg, which was awesome.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, because
I'm a really good
that
lawyer.
was the same week that Kingpin showed up on the Hawkeye show, if you remember. You know,
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
I don't want to tell them what you were doing, so we're gonna move on. Let's just say it was a little bit of
It was almost like I was...
like you were
Having sex with me.
Nice, you got it. Okay. So,
Oh damn it!
Eat your ass.
so, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, actors are on strike. That's fine, but again, I don't know that it's worth
I
scrapping.
understand. Yeah, 8 episodes seems like a lot, but but this is also a sign of the new initiative behind MCU TV. Like this has kind of been the
Yeah.
lead of like, hey, we're changing the Disney Plus shows, and I think that's good. That
Yeah.
means that I think they're answering some criticism, and internally, I don't think they're happy because they were trying to make the shows like they were making the movies, which was, and a lot of directors have come out and said that the Marvel process is to constantly rewrite and then fix it in post. That started with fucking Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2's script wasn't finished when they started filming.
Of course, because
kept
they were
changing
like,
it.
well, because they
Because
were
they had
like,
to tie in the Avengers and all that shit.
well, also they were like, get on it, money, make another
this is
one.
gonna work.
Make another one.
Yeah.
The studio's probably like, get out there and make one. You dang dirty
Because
dicks.
the next year they released 2 movies.
What did I say? You dang dirty
You
dicks.
dang dirty dick. And I still think back to the time when we got excited about 2 MCU
You
movies
sure the
a
door's
year.
closed? Because Cooper just came
Well,
downstairs.
my wife could open the door.
Okay.
But did she let my love open the door?
Do 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 do
My
do.
love, open the door.
Let my love.
It's the same. It's the same way I feel about.
The Who?
I hate you so much.
It's the same way you feel about.
I,
Don't tell me you fucking forgot. God
how
damn
can
it.
I not? You're singing fucking My Love Open the Door.
You're the one who started all that shit.
And I was riveted.
Fuck you, Roger Daltrey. Wow.
Is he alive still?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Anyway, what was the smacking of the lips? You giving me some ASMR action over there? That's a good
So shake is so
shake.
good.
Moving on.
Wait,
So-
did we resolve what you were about to say there?
I've given up.
Sorry. Somebody's happy about that.
Woo, you fucked it up.
You gave up good.
You gave up good. Wow.
It's about time.
Just submit.
We're tired of seeing you struggle.
Give up on this careless idea.
Boring!
Back to the show.
No, you got to do that. Get your ass to Mars.
Yeah.
Get your ass to Mars.
Okay, back on track.
So from Daredevil, we go to. We're gonna flip it.
Oh.
I was gonna do Gen V, but
So
we'll do Gen V after this. Let's
so
do Loki to keep
this
it the theme of Marvel.
rundown that I hand wrote
You
is
do
worthless.
Shit, man. Plan one episode. Come on. Ah,
Hey,
Hey.
I always bring my own long box.
fucking funk. That's what I thought you were gonna say. I bring my own
I
funk.
always bring my own funk.
So
yeah,
let's
you sure
ta-
do.
let's
Put on
talk
some
ab-
deodorant.
Let's talk about Loki.
Low key, bro.
Episode 2, season 2, episode 2.
Mm.
This show continues to just really make me fall in love with the MCU again.
Mm.
And I know it wasn't hard. It took one good project, but it shows to me that they're committed to this. Just feels like a throwback to how Marvel was feeling earlier in Phase 1 when they're, or I would say Phase 2 even. Like if there's people that online that have said Phase 4 feels like Phase 1
Yeah.
in a sense of, I think they were more experimental in Phase 4.
Yeah.
And, I think there's a mixed reaction to everything
We
from WandaVision to
You
Doctor
and I-
Strange to Thor to everything.
Man, you and I talked about this all the way through Phase 4. And every time it came up, I made the point, hey, remember how Phase 1 was like, what the hell's going on here? Okay, Phase 2 was a lot like that. Because we had the Avengers, but then what are we building to?
But this show feels like we're building to something. This feels like, okay, we are and this is their first attempt at a second season. And you know what's crazy? What's working about Loki? It's produced. I think it's only 6 episodes again, but it's produced as a show. That's why WandaVision, I think, was one of the better shows because it was made with 9. It was made as a show. She-Hulk was designed as a show, and when they actually, and that's the whole thing with the initiative. They're changing. Now they're going to have showrunners, which was what they didn't have in the regular MCU TV stuff, which I think is because of the writer strike. They made it where I think every show has to have a showrunner.
Yeah.
So it has to be run like regular TV because of pay and and that's good, dude. You have to have
It's going to be a better product.
Breaking Bad exists because of
Gilligan.
Vincent Gilligan. I can't think of the guy who did The Sopranos, but like the dude who did The Wire
Chase.
and
The guy who did, I can't think of the guy.
and
who
the
did
one
Wire.
with
Shit.
John Barenthal, the like sequel series or same.
Oh yeah. We Own the City. They also did The Corner. Yeah, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. But those shows work because they have one guy. There's a team of writers, but obviously there's one guy that has a vision for how there's a figurehead on the show that can guide it.
Well, Shonda Rhimes for like network television, she has like a bunch of different shows, and literally like she shows up. I mean, I don't know, but I'm willing to bet that like she comes up with the concept and like writes. Have you ever heard of a show having a Bible?
Yeah, there's a show Bible. Yeah, and
Right.
that's something that they're
So
going to
she
start
shows
having in
up,
their shows
Shonda
now.
Rhimes or whoever, like
Yeah.
somebody like that. I'm using her as an example because she is a great story. But
I mean, shit, Dave Filoni with Star Wars.
Any of those guys. But what they do is they
Favreau
show up
with Star Wars.
They go, hey, here's the Bible, and here's how the show is going to go. And then everybody else is hired on that way. And they take care of the actual day-to-day shit and the filming and the casting and all that shit. I mean, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But the point is that it comes from one source. So it's kind of like, if you don't have a showrunner for your show, it's like a bunch of employees, and I hate corporate bullshit, but it's like a bunch of employees without a manager. And to be really honest, man, if I'm at work and there's no manager, I ain't doing fuck all, man.
Well, we'll talk about
I ain't doing shit.
We'll talk about Gen V.
I'm gonna get paid for it.
The Boys is an example in superheroes where we've talked about how that show is so well written and it knows its tone. It knows it's biting satire. And
no,
that Kremke.
That was the other guy.
Eric,
what's his name?
I think it's Eric Kremke.
Yeah,
he's the dude who did Supernatural.
Yeah, Padalecki was the other guy on Supernatural.
Yeah, that was the other actor. It was Jensen Ackles and Padalecki.
That's because my cousin has a crush on them both.
Everybody has a crush on those guys. They're beautiful. Have you seen them?
What?
The Supernatural guys?
Well, objectively, yeah.
They're hot.
Yeah.
We're
sweating right now.
Yeah! I saw the sweat on your face, and that was my reaction.
But yeah, but yeah, he's the guy who did Supernatural.
Get your ass to Moss.
Is he not?
He's the head. He's the showrunner of The Boys.
And Gen V, I would assume.
I think,
or
it's
he's the
someone
executive
else, but
producer.
He's a producer on it for sure.
Is Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg producers on this too?
Yeah.
How the fuck? Where the fuck? Good for them, I guess. It's a good show.
It is.
Are we moving on to that now, or are we talking about Loki season
I want
2?
to talk about Loki season 2 or episode 2 because we haven't at all. But
I continue.
The show, okay, but like, I just think I like this episode because it really feels like older MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it has that direct like Easter egg fan service reference, but it works because you also have to think that this Loki, that's still Avengers 1 is still fresh to him. You know what I mean? So that's why he's brought it up in conversation. Because this isn't the Loki we know that went through the second Thor movie, went through Ragnarok, you know, all that stuff in Infinity War where he sacrifices for. That's not the same Loki. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think because that they do a good job of this episode at directly approaching that and saying like, let him be the villain again. Let him, because he's good at it. He's really good at this character. Tom Hiddleston is great, and I just love that they kind of let him be Loki.
My thing is, I am such a fan of. I let you borrow that Fantastic Four, where they have the first appearance of the TVA. And Mobius is like a every looking dude, and every other dude in the TVA looks like Mobius, or they're faceless automatons, whatever. And I really like how they've played. Fucking jerk. I feel like hypocrite. I feel like they played a lot. They've taken.
Pizza time.
No.
I don't know what else the TVA has become in the comics other than what I read back in the Fantastic Four with Walt Simonson. I don't know if it's become anything else inside the comics, but if not, what a great idea and what a great thing they've done, taking this one little idea and branching it into an entire like world. It's really, really cool, and it's well thought out. It's well written.
Yeah.
It's well acted. I mean, let's not, I forgot to talk about this last week, but Broxton, Oklahoma, by the way, is when, during the Siege events in the comics, Asgard is brought down.
Oh, that's...
And Broxton, Oklahoma is where it's stationed or whatever, and that's where what's-her-name falls in love with a regular dude.
Yeah, that's when
and that's where Volstagg blows up.
They like merge. They try to merge the realms of Asgard and or
I have no idea what happened. I just remember reading Siege 1, and that's
was
a
when,
fucking rough...
Norman Osborn was...
Yeah, that's a rough... Siege number
Iron
1
Patriot.
is a rough fucking book because the Avengers get their asses handed to them. Like, bad. It's bad. But it's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago.
Peanut butters and cocaine.
So what did you? I think the dude.
But I
who
really
plays X5 / Brad Wolf.
I'm not sure. Nobody that I know, but I really like Ouroboros' character. I'm really loving Casey.
Oh, Breaking Brad is the name of this episode.
Yeah, being a bigger part of it. I like. I love that the first time I saw that guy, he was what's his name's stepdad in The Good Place.
I think his name is Raphael Casal, who plays
Casal, yeah.
Casal, who plays Brad
Casey. Oh,
Wolf.
the guy who plays Casey.
I don't know.
He's the guy.
Cast.
He's the guy who does. You know what I'm talking about. He's got the gap tooth.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
He had the Infinity
He's
Stones.
good in this too. Yeah,
But the first
he's
time,
really good in the first episode.
yeah, he's. I hope that he's more of a part of that.
Eugene
Cordero.
Cordero.
Eugene Cordero. Yeah, he has that commercial with an orange juice. It's really funny. But I mean, I love the cast. I mean, Owen Wilson is fucking sublime. It's almost like he was born to play this character.
Yeah,
He's really good at it. Yeah, it was just that whole end sequence where they're doing, the back and forth and the playing off each other and whatnot. That was a lot of fun. Okay, I'm done talking about it. You want to talk a little bit, or should I just keep going?
Keep going. Keep rambling, you bastard.
I fucking love it. Also,
I
you
love
know what
that
else
show,
I like?
man.
I like this thing and I like that.
I think it was fun with the whole interrogation of him talking about Loki's mom. And it's weird because it's like it still affects him because he knows what happens to her, but he didn't. That's still not the same Loki. You know what I mean? It's so weird, and this whole concept, and I've been thinking about this, is I said that I was upset because I was at a point where I'm like, I'm over multiverses, even, after the Flash. But now I'm in this thing where I'm like, okay, they're showing how to do a well-written concept of a multiverse. And I think they do that when later in the episode when they bomb those timelines.
Yeah.
It does like those are people's lives. And it's like it's also what I think was done well with Across the Spider-Verse of like pointing out how this can work as a plot device and that canon does matter to a certain extent. Like Bruce Wayne's parents had to die. Uncle Ben has to die to be Peter Parker. Miles Morales.
It's a canon event.
Jefferson Davis has to die with Miles Morales. That's just what happens. Or Jefferson Morales is what he should be named. Anyway, and all that's also Prowler has to be his uncle. Like, there's just some things, But I like how this is doing a great job of saying, like, yes, the sacred timeline, the canon itself has some sort of purpose, but who's to say we should kill off these other stories? And that's what I think was a cool thing that I took from this. Of like, it does a great job of humanizing that idea of like, why not have this exist in a different world?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's such an interesting concept.
You look at at some point Marvel decided, like the Gwenpool is a perfect example. Gwenpool.
Yeah.
It was a one-off variant cover, like back in I don't even know, early 90s or late 90s, early aughts.
I think it was around the time of because Spider-Gwen didn't come into play until Spider-Verse. Well, Dan Slott's Spider-Verse.
Right, but the point is that Gwenpool was just a one-off cover.
Yeah, sometimes
concept.
they do it. Yeah. And
they took it and they were like, why can't we make this a character? And if you read Gwenpool's whatever, it's insane. It's the way they played with it and made it such a way. The other thing, the other multiverse thing that I love about the comic books is a Deadpool Secret Wars.
Yeah, you've talked about it on the show before.
Oh, I fucking love it because Secret Wars was such a big part of my childhood, and the way it's written makes perfect sense that Deadpool was there, but everybody forgot that he was there. And the way it's written, I don't want to give it away, but it's just so fucking brilliant. So fucking brilliant. It's fine. I'll tell you. I'll tell you off the air. I want
spoil
the
cast
listeners
right now.
I want the listeners to be able to read it.
Yeah.
But it's those kinds of it's.
I'm wondering. It's just I'm so interested in what they're gonna do with Victor Timely,
Yeah.
and how that's going to tie in everything. Because again, this is doing such a good job.
Well, next episode we'll find out probably.
You think so? I think so. Well,
I think we're
it's
gonna
gonna
meet
be
Victor Timely next episode. They
episode
got to
4.
bring him. If it's only 6 episodes,
4,
man,
5,
come
and
on.
6 is when he'll be. a
Oh,
part of
sure.
the last half of this season.
Go to the next topic.
You don't want to talk about it anymore because you know I'm right.
So I know you're a douche.
Hey,
Why you gotta be a little douche?
coming soon. New song. Look for it.
New song from.
Are you
what do
sure
we
you
call
don't
her?
have anything else you want to talk about with Loki?
No, I mean I like the episode. I
What'd you think
love
of
Sophie
the
coming back because she's.
McDonald's stuff when he's like, "You slapped me," and when he tells Mobius, "You slapped me," and he's like, "Yeah, but I got you a shake." So we're good.
That
have you had
any
these
scene
fries?
any scene with any scene with
Owen will. Dude,
Mobius
this
is
show,
great.
and that's another thing too. This show can be serious and have serious consequences, but it could be really funny. I saw someone make a meme where it said it's a better version of Doctor Who, and
Yeah.
I've never watched Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. That actually tracks. Yeah. If you don't like Doctor Who, then it's a better version of Doctor Who.
I've never watched Doctor Who. So
I
have
used
no
to,
frame of
but
reference.
The problem is that
But it's timey-wimey space stuff.
the problem with Doctor Who is that you'd have, at least when Tom Baker was the Doctor, which is back in the 80s, you would have, I didn't know when it was on. We didn't know when it was on PBS. And they would take like 19 episodes to get through one arc with like the Daleks. And it would almost seem like there were like episodes where nothing really changed. Like you're following it and you're following it for like 5 episodes, and then the 6, 7, 8, and 9 episodes are like the same. There's nothing really happening or moving the story forward, and it's just nothing. And
You're
then
just sitting there and you're saying, "What?" All right, let's talk about Gen
that's what I remember. I could be wrong.
Gen V episode 5.
Cooper
Nobody heard that.
heard what?
Exactly. Tyler's just ripping his butt cheeks back here.
I had chili.
Let's talk about Gen V.
We had.
I'm sorry.
my
name's Tyler Alex, and
Listen,
I just had some
Tyler Alex?
Yeah, I had some hot chili.
Listen, I had some thin crust pizza.
I do wild things when I have chili.
Things come out of my butt. Okay, what now? What?
Damn it.
What?
Gen V episode 5, gosh darn it. I thought this was another solid episode. I'm glad that we kind of resolved the weird blinking through time bit, because it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And like I like that. Okay, so that abrupt end to everything makes sense. Like that abrupt end to episode 4
Yeah.
is clearly something's being manipulated, right? And I think they do a good job of the twist, which, by the way, we didn't do it for Loki, but
Pizza time.
for this, well, when you find out Kate was the one manipulating,
Right.
which I thought was a good twist. But the more you think about it, the more you're like, oh, it was right there. Of course, she would be the one that could mess with people's memories.
Right, because she's got that power. Yeah.
Because she's kind of OP a little bit. Remember when she made the guards suck the flashlight like a dildo?
She made Rufus punch him or hit himself in the nuts every hour on the hour.
Yeah.
I love this.
But
yeah, you're gonna want to suck. Yeah, the other security guard. I'm gonna fucking put this. I want you to make this flashlight all wet with your mouth. What? I'm gonna do it right now.
Wow.
No, he was like, "What?" And then she touches him. Oh, I'm gonna do that right now. So funny.
I think it was so satisfying about this story, and then you have Andre find out after her lying to him about this story. So also is it implying that the dude who had his penis exploded didn't actually, I think what it's implying, he didn't have, like, was Kate lying about that story?
I don't know. I don't think so.
See, that's what I find, because it, like,
I
just
think
the
in
way
the-
that it ends with Andre being so disappointed and pissed off, where, like, I think it has to be something where he feels like she might have lied about that or something. You know what I mean?
I think he's just mad because they were friends. I mean,
I don't think she did lie about it. Why would she lie about it?
I don't think she did lie about that. No, but I mean, it's the same thing as a comparable thing would be like, if you did something and like if you'd been manipulating me this whole time or something like that, like all the years we knew each other, and I just found out about it. I'd be a little pissed. I'd be like, really? I thought you were my friend. So I get why he's so upset, but
I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, she lied because she had been messing with everybody this whole time. Like, she was trying to make Luke forget about Sam. Like, she was trying to get Golden Boy to forget about his brother.
Yeah, let's talk about the puppet sequence.
And then, like, it all seems all the more fucked up because they were having a relationship together too. After all of this,
how long have you been tonguing Golden Boy's girl's hole?
Oh my God, what a recap clip!
Yeah,
I was
right,
like,
right.
"Jeez."
Yeah, Jesus. Skip recap.
Yeah, and the puppet scene. Okay, so Sam meets up back with Marie and Emma. And they don't know him. They don't recognize him. They don't remember him.
Right.
And he's like, oh, they made you forget too. I'm going to make you guys remember. So then he's on the run still, and he ends up in a sewer where he talks to a puppet version of Emma, and then the troops come in, and he just fucking rips them to shreds.
At one point, he takes a guy's arm off and breaks it, and then shoves it down the guy's mouth.
He fucking smashed the guy's head so hard his brain pops out, and it's all puppets, which makes it so fucking funny. Like, but it's so good.
So you're sitting there the whole time, and like you're like, "Oh my God, this is horrible!" But it's like, okay, this is
it's funny.
At least it's not real, But then, of course, at the very end,
show it, and I'm like,
yeah, like this was real, and like, thanks. I needed to.
But that stays in the tone of the boys. That stays in the world that they built, and.
They had something very similar to that in The Boys. What was it? It was very similar where it was like a dream sequence, but it turned out to be real.
It was Black Noir getting beaten by Soldier Boy in season 3. So yeah, it's that's not the first time I've used like something that you associate with being a kid.
Well, dude,
it
makes perfect sense, dude. When you suffer a trauma, you retreat within yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you and I have suffered any of that type of trauma, but I know that we have trauma in our lives.
Well, and it's showing us again. It's humanizing Sam, being like, this is a dude that has like legitimate mental health problems that he needs he needs help, like professional help. He doesn't need to be treated like a lab rat,
right?
You know?
Yeah,
and
getting a spinal tap.
But Jesus, yeah, break it. Oh my God, the end of the scene where that guy was like, I'm a single dad, I have 2 kids, and he just pops his head. I'm like, good Lord. But that's what's so insane about the world of The Boys, where it's like, that's so crazy and violent, but it's done with a puppet. So it's like, it's still this really insane satire.
Let's talk about that, dude.
So
Let's talk about that, dude, because I want to talk about that, because on one hand, I'm like, that's horrible that he still did that. But on the other hand, I'm like, dude, you're going after like superpowered individuals, and you probably have great insurance. I mean, based on your job. And also, dude, I mean, every time you go out, you're in danger of losing your life. I mean, you're basically a soldier.
Yeah.
So to kind of seriously, let's.
But no, I think that
fictional character, do you think that he should have spared that fictional character or not?
No.
I don't either.
No, because I think it
could have been lying.
Exactly. Not. Why wouldn't that guy lie about it? He's gonna die. Why would he lie? No, but and then of course they do the big like pull away shot where it's all this blood and guts.
The one guy hanging off the rope.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then you see the dude like in the like not too far away. And again, the show continues to blow my mind of what they can get away with, because the show.
Well, they can do anything they want.
The violence in this show is just absurd. But it reminds me a lot of like, I don't know if I've said this about The Boys before, but it reminds me a lot of Mortal Kombat, where like it's
comical,
so
almost.
Violent it gets to insane, like the exploding penis,
right?
Like, and like this whole sequence is done with puppets. So when you see that shot, you're like, oh my gosh. But then you're also like, it's still done in a tongue-in-cheek way. Because if it's not done with a little wink at you, it's just perverse. It's just gross.
Right, but
you know?
here's the other thing too is that most opponents of violence on television, video games, movies, whatever, most opponents say, okay, well, because kids are going to try and emulate that or whatever. Now, sure, like gun violence, physical assault, things like that, yeah, but no kid is going to be able to explode their friend's dick. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, this has to be comic in a way because it's not real. It cannot be real.
It's satire.
Yes.
It has to be extreme.
No person, like, punches through another person and through their mouth. Like, that doesn't happen. You know? That doesn't...
Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, when his fist went through that dude's skull, I was like, oh, my God. But you know what? Again, the gore is cranked up to such a level that you just can't help but laugh and be like, this is a crazy ride, you know? And it's a good satire.
Oh, when she's standing in a pool, that guy's blood in his ear.
I was telling her, because Ashley hasn't watched it, and I told her about that. I was like, you know what I didn't think about is she could drown in his blood as she's swimming through his ear, up to his ear. I was like,
so did she eat her way through him, or
she just swam through the blood? Oh, you mean what she did in his head?
Yeah, or did she just push the?
I think she just like
the little earpiece. She pushed it through.
She did something to his brain. I don't know. I also love that they have the video footage from the party.
Yeah.
And Emma was just giant and naked. I was like, but you would think that would be bad, but everybody thinks like, hey, you're the giant girl, you're awesome. And I was like, I don't know. At least she's getting some sort of acceptance, I guess.
She to me is the moral compass of the show.
Yeah.
She has to.
But she smiled about it, so I don't know. Did she?
No,
did
I'm
she
saying
like it?
I'm saying like every other character in this show is willing to go to extreme lengths to protect themselves.
Yeah.
And Emma is almost, if one of us was dropped into this world, how we would act. Now, granted, her powers, she has killed somebody with pretty gruesomely, but it was but it was to save her friend.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So I think she's the moral center of the show, and what we experience through her eyes is what we would experience in that world if we were in it.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't think any of us. I don't know. I mean, if we had blood powers, also. Obviously, she's got healing powers too, but I'm so fucking tired of the cutting open the hand, the palm. That is the dumbest place to cut yourself.
Then she can make the ropes with her hands.
I'm talking about the healing.
Oh, yeah.
She better have a healing thing, because dude, if you're going to cut yourself for something, you do it like on the back of your hand, somewhere that is not going to be used all the time. That'll never fucking heal. Why are you doing that? They did that in The Last of Us too. Yes, when she was trying to save that kid. You idiot.
Well, she's a kid.
Idiot.
Yeah. Well, it continues, and then the interesting dynamic with Jordan and her, hooking up as a female with Marie, but then being like, well, why didn't I have sex with her as a man? And then the invisible guy who's got fucked, he's like, look, sometimes I like to hang out in the girls' shower, and sometimes I like to hang out in the boys' shower. I'm just trying to say, man, gender is a spectrum.
I gotta go. She's pissed.
And then Jordan's like, what the fuck?
I gotta go. She's pissed.
Wasn't that a goat?
The llama?
Or llama, yeah. It's like, jeez.
It's fucked up.
It's so fucked. But even he was making sense of it, being like, that's your own hang-up, not hers.
Well, because when they first get together or do anything in the show, Jordan's a guy. When they're in her room, when they're in Marie's room, and they start making out, Jordan is a guy.
Yeah.
Now, at the beginning, or rather at the end of that same episode, they wake up together and she's a girl. And it's clear that Jordan prefers being a girl.
Jordan prefers presenting as a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because honestly, I think there's more scenes of Jordan as a woman than there are of Jordan as a man.
Yeah.
And that continues to be an interesting dynamic with Jordan and Marie and like how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's another solid episode, and it's always kind of frustrating because I always want more. You know, I want to know where this is going.
I was lucky. I didn't start until it was 3. So I got to watch 3 of them before I really hit the wall.
Yeah.
Well, I got Hulu back now, so I'm going to watch Only Murders in the Building.
Well, good for you, man.
Did you watch it?
No, I haven't watched it. Like I watched like
wrong
half
with
of the
you?
first
Do you
season.
not like good things?
I just don't finish things, okay, man? All right, you know what? I need Green Goblin to hop on his damn glider and burst through my window and say,
Finish it! Finish it!
That was a long way to go.
"You know what, man? You know what?"
Sloppy.
So Tyler, I don't have a name for this segment. You know, I don't want to just call it guilty pleasures. You know, I want to call it something that doesn't sound so dirty. You know, I was thinking of hidden desires. That's what we should call this segment.
Secret lust.
Secret lusting.
Secret lust and hidden desires and guilty pleasures and go to sleep.
It's hidden gems, hidden desire theater. You know, we got some ideas.
It's like I woke up and crapped out a jam.
Oops.
It's a jam, but it came out of your butt.
Anyway, I left you hanging. I didn't know where to go with that, man.
I don't even know.
So anyway, this is a segment where we do like a reverse.
We came up with the
long
idea
box.
during the writer strike, and now these studios are being fucking hubris, just stupid motherfuckers. Oh, you know what? Well, we lost this strike, but we'll win this one.
So yeah, we're still gonna
Dumb
do,
motherfuckers.
Whoa. So we're gonna do retro.
We
segments
came up
again.
with it, but we never went through with it.
We did one.
Did we?
Yeah,
What was it?
I did Nacho Libre,
What'd I do?
and you did singles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was just a movie that nobody knew.
Well, that's what you did with this fucking segment.
Fuck you.
Sloppy.
Back to the show. You know what? You
Get your ass to Moss.
make your point. No, I'll go first.
You have all of these drops, and we've heard like 4 throughout the show. Use some
Oh.
other ones.
Oh, Mister.
Think of the fucking comedy!
We've already heard that guy.
Dude, you know what?
I'm challenging you.
your blood.
Anyway,
I think we already heard that
I'll
one,
go
too.
first. We'll flip-flop them because we're going to do this and the long box. So think of it as a double shot of fun.
Fudge?
Fudge. So, of course, this is a movie that most people hate, reasonably, but I love. I want to talk about Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
Otherwise known as Ghost Rider 2.
Yeah, but the name of it is Ghost Rider.
Whatever.
Friend of the show, Luke Moyer, said he prefers to have movie sequels be the colon, you know? So, like Captain America, Civil War, or Winter Soldier. I prefer that,
depends-
too.
It depends on the
Versus
series.
Spider-Man 2 or Iron Man 2.
It depends on the series. When it's well done, like No Way Home, Far From Home, and then...
Homecoming was first.
Okay, so Homecoming, No Way Home, and then...
Far From Home, No Way Home.
And then No Way Home. That's interesting the way they did that. Sometimes it sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, Spirit of Vengeance. Nicolas Cage returns, and that's it. There's no Sam Elliott. There's no Eva Mendes. It's just Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Wes Bentley doesn't return? As
No.
what's his name?
No. We're just doing Satan himself. It's different. Even
It's not
Peter
Peter
Fonda didn't come back either.
I'm surprised they got him to do the first one.
It's directed by the guys that did Crank.
Not a
both
bad
those
movie.
movies. I like those movies.
They're interesting.
And when you watch this movie, you can tell these guys made it. Like, oh yeah, this makes sense to the guys that did Crank.
Oh,
did
these are the
this
guys who do meth on set. Okay.
and ride skateboards and just film shit. It is so much of that vein. So there's something to be said about those Crank movies in this style of just gonzo action movie. Like, it commits to being this edgy, stupid movie and just goes for it. And I think it just commits to being insane. and it knows what it is, and I'm not saying in any way it's good. I want to make it very clear. If someone just say this movie sucks and it's terrible, I would say yes. But that's also kind of why I enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, there's something about it where I applaud when a movie just goes for it.
Yeah.
Even if it's not good and not executed properly, I respect that they're like, we're going to go in
The
a
movie's
completely
gonna be
different direction, and this is what it's going to be.
The bad movies that are really bad are the ones that continually change direction
And aren't consistent in their
or don't understand what the movie itself or the people making the movie don't understand what they're doing. The tone is wrong, whatever, in different places.
I think this movie is also guilty of breaking its own rules, but several times. Again, not great. But what I love about it is it commits, man. That's all I'm saying. Now, given between the two, I think the first one is a better movie, even though that movie isn't.
I've only seen parts of it.
It's meh. It's not, it's not great. It's not terrible, but I think I love it for how trashy it is.
Yeah.
Same, like, Nick Cage, they just didn't even, they're like, do whatever the fuck you want as Johnny Blaze in this movie. And he does. He just does. Like, there's one scene.
I love how you're just like, he just does.
He just does, because there's one scene where he's in terror, and this whole time. So you remember the first movie, he's like, I'm going to control the Ghost Rider, and rides off.
Yeah.
And his head turns into a flaming skull because he could do it on This movie says, fuck all that. He can't do it anymore properly. Like, the Ghost Rider is consuming Johnny Blaze. Like, he has a hunger to constantly punish.
Okay.
Guilty. The fucking penance stare or whatever.
Can we have the pizza time? Because I haven't seen this yet.
I mean, you're not...
Pizza time.
There. God. Work, soundboard. Come on.
What are you doing?
Sloppy.
Get those people air. Get those hosts air.
What?
Anyway. Well, and it's just... There's a scene where he's interrogating a guy. Nick Cage is. And at this point in the movie, we're learning that, like, again, he can't really control the rioter anymore. The rioter is just hell-bent on punishing as many souls as possible.
Hell-bent.
Hey, I see what I did. And he's talking to this guy, and he's like... Well, before he even gets there, by the way, Danny Ketch is the son of the devil, apparently, in this movie.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
What?
So he's like half... He's supposed to be the new vessel for the devil, because the devil can only walk on Earth through human conduits.
Does Danny Ketch become the Ghost Rider at all?
Not in this movie. He's a kid in this movie. All right, so I don't want to. Do you want me? I can spoil it.
I don't care. Tell me what happens.
But I just want to talk about the moments that stuck out to me. It's
Go
like,
for it.
Jesus, this movie's terrible, but I love it.
You're not going to spoil anything. Go for it.
He's interrogating this guy to find, because Danny gets kidnapped by the devil's henchman, which one of the henchmen he turns into get the ability to, like, manipulate darkness and make things decay.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool.
Sure.
But it automatically is flawed because he's driving a truck, and my wife was like, why wouldn't the truck disintegrate while he's driving it? Because it would rust. Because the whole gag is he's picking up food and it's decaying in his hands. And it's like, well, why wouldn't the car decay? You know what? The movie just says, fuck that. Don't pay attention to this. Keep moving. You know what I mean? That's what this movie does. And this movie goes at a fucking clip. It is like, these Neveline Taylor movies, that's the name of the directing duo, they're on a rail. And they're like, we're getting to the fucking end. We don't care. Rails of cocaine.
Oh, baby.
And you know
Oh,
what?
baby.
They don't care about where it's going.
Sounds good to
and
me.
you know why? Because Nick Cage grabs a guy and goes, you gotta understand, the rider's gonna come out. He's knocking on the door. He's knocking on the door. Like, that's not an exaggeration. That is the line delivery in this movie. And if that's the breaking point. If you're not in for the ride, get off. Because it only gets more insane after that. And I gotta tell you, I strapped in, buddy. And I finished that movie, and that's only like the second time I've seen that movie. And
I've heard-
it gets worse, but somehow better.
I've heard
with every watch.
One movie about Nick Cage's, like, time when he was just making whatever and doing whatever.
But he actually likes comic books, like
The
so that's why
Wicker Man.
He liked doing these movies. But yeah, The Wicker Man. Oh, that movie. Whew. The beast. It's that, but Ghost Rider, and then they have fun with it, and they have fun of, like, their whole thing is like he doesn't just possess a bike in this movie. So they're at a construction site, so he gets like this big crane that it just hellfire.
Awesome.
And, like, which I was like, that's a cool concept.
Awesome.
That he could possess vehicles. Like that's a cool idea.
Do you remember when Robbie Reyes in the Avengers comic possessed Avengers Mountain?
Yeah. Let's jump.
Fuck you. Okay.
No, but yeah, I remember you telling me about that. And
that kind of shit
that
is
was
cool.
in this movie before. Yeah, this is 2012, I think, is when this movie came out. But there's
I don't
also a
think
scene where
Robbie Reyes
he
was even
jumps
in the
on the
comics,
back of this big, like, military-looking Jeep and jumps on the back of it and possesses it. And again, it like the wheels turn into fire and it looks like this demon car. I'm like, there's some things in this movie that I'm like,
That
I
are
feel like really
promising,
cool ideas.
Yeah.
But it's so choppy and weird, and there's a part where a dude shoots the Ghost Rider in the mouth, but he like catches all the bullets in his mouth and then spits him back out with like hellfire and shit on the guy, and it just like kills him. It's crazy.
Why?
Like, what? Right. And there's moments like that, but then there's really cool moments in between, and I think it commits to. It feels a lot like a Ghost Rider comic book
Okay.
of like. Or the 90s, you know, it reminds me of Venom, where it feels like this weird time vessel of this particular part of the character, you know, good or bad. I prefer to shoot like it. I know a lot of people don't. And again, I want to be very clear. If you think this movie sucks, you're not wrong. I'm aware this segment is about movies we love, but we know most people hate.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I
They don't necessarily need to suck. And
the ending is bad. Like there's
what is the ending?
every critique you could have for this movie.
What is the ending?
I agree with you, but I still enjoy it. Well, he just throws the devil. He finally stops the devil. So, oh my god. So there's a whole storyline where he wants to get rid of the curse. So he gets rid of the curse because Idris Elba's character is with this like ancient holy men. They're like monk kind of characters
Sure.
with Christopher Lambert,
Sure.
the guy who played Raiden in the Mortal Kombat movie. The second one?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no,
The
he
first
was
one.
he was
the first one.
Highlander.
He was the first
He was
one.
also
and
Highlander.
Highlander, yeah. He's in it briefly, but they know a way to get rid of the Ghost Rider curse, so that's why Johnny Blaze goes after Danny Ketch to help him because they're trying to stop Danny Ketch becoming the
Weird. Johnny
devil.
Cage is a Mortal Kombat character.
I know, that's why I said it weird.
Word.
So Idris Elba removes the curse. So Idris Elba, Danny Ketch's mom, I can't remember her name, and Nick Cage, Johnny Blaze, go assault on the compound where all these like politicians and world leaders are going to watch the devil transfer his soul or his vessel, leave the old man body he's in. And this whole thing is eventually stopped by Johnny Blaze. He's about to get decayed because Idris Elba fights off the bad guy that can decay things, but the guy kills him. Then he goes to kill Johnny Blaze. But for some reason, because this movie loves to break its own rules, Johnny Blaze hasn't decayed yet, even though the guy is clearly touching him and it would decay him and by the time that Danny Ketch comes into the scene. But regardless, I'm going too long on this.
What the fuck?
Danny Ketch comes in because I want you to know how ridiculous this movie is. And he goes, wait, you said I have half the powers of you, right? Talking about the devil. He goes, yeah. And then Nick Cage, Johnny Blaze looks at Danny Ketch and goes, do it. And the kid just like spits hellfire onto his face and it turns him back into the Ghost Rider. So we can have the third act fight. Moto movie. I went way too long. I apologize. But that is
what the fuck?
Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Good luck trying to find it to watch, though, if you want to sit through too many ads. But you can rent it on Amazon for like $1 probably. But actually, you know what? Don't spend money on this movie. Anyway, what do you want to talk about, bitch?
Wow.
Pew pew quip, pew pew quip.
That's the whole show. My movie is back in. No, go ahead.
I was gonna do.
Nice.
Back in, I was living in Denver. I think 2006 maybe is when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Indiana Jones.
2007, I think.
Okay, so I was living in Denver, and I remember it came out that summer, and I was really, really excited. And I went down to the Pavilions, Denver Pavilions, which is a really gigantic theater downtown Denver on the 16th Street Mall. And I went there by myself. I got really, really fucking high. I got a big-ass thing of popcorn, a big-ass cherry Coke, and a water like I always do. And I sat down, and I wanted to experience a summer blockbuster Indiana Jones movie. And hey, guess what? I totally did.
What?
I totally enjoyed a fucking Indiana Jones summer blockbuster. Now, is it perfect? No. Did I laugh at the South, or not laugh, but did I think it was kind of an interesting way that South Park critiqued Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Yeah. Yes, I did. I thought it was clever, and even though I didn't think it was particularly great and pretty graphic, it was like, okay, I get it. I understand what you guys are saying. Maybe not so graphic though, Yeah. Because it was pretty graphic. And for a little while, I agreed with it because I had a problem with Shia LaBeouf for no real reason other than like critics did or people did, whatever.
Oh yeah, he had a very public meltdown.
He did, but I have mental health issues. Why, whatever.
I don't give it.
Yeah. And the other thing too is the thing that I really hated was when he was swinging with the monkeys during the movie. He gets caught like in a bunch of vines, and then he catches up to everybody by swinging with monkeys and saves like a bunch of shit, whatever. Now, here's a couple things I want to make clear about Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It is an Indiana Jones movie through and fucking through. Nothing that happens in that climax in that movie is any different from fucking Raiders of the fucking Lost Ark or fucking Last Crusade or, for that matter, for God's sake, Temple of fucking Doom, okay?
Whoa.
Everybody calm the fuck. There's aliens? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah.
Doesn't the Last Crusade have the Holy Grail?
Yeah!
And there's
Right?
literally like an old knight from
Dude's
mid-centuries.
faces melted off at the end of the first one, and you're bitching about, oh, he stuck himself in a lead-lined refrigerator and survived an atomic blast. Yeah, because he's Indiana fucking Jones. What did you want to happen in that part of the movie? Did you want him to fail and be vaporized, and then that's the end of the movie? Well, that's not much of a point to start making that movie if it's only going to be 10 minutes long, isn't it, idiot? I'm just saying, people give Crystal Skull a whole lot of piss, and it's really doesn't deserve it. It is not a bad movie. John Hurt's in it. Ray Winston's in it.
That's a drop. It was a whole lot of piss.
Kate Blanchett's in it, dude. Karen Allen comes back as Marion Ravenwood, and you haven't seen Dial of Destiny. But
No,
they do reference the whole wedding and Shia LaBeouf being his kid and their kid and everything in the Dial of Destiny. It's canon, okay? They didn't just wipe away the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. In fact, it's very poignant once you've seen Dial of Destiny to go back and watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull because it makes Dial of Destiny so much more poignant. So much more. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but Marion does come back in the Dial of Destiny.
Wow, dude.
Pizza time.
Come on.
Whatever. But it's an Indiana Jones movie, and it's got action sequences. It's got a little bit of supernatural stuff going on, coupled with real world stuff. It's the Russians, it's the Cold War, all the stuff in the beginning when they're trying to make sure he's not a communist. That shit really happened in the 50s. It's very real. I mean, it just bugs me that people. It wasn't just a cash grab. If it was just a cash grab, they would have done it 10 years earlier for, whatever. They waited that long because they wanted a script that made sense for the character. And to be honest, I mean, Kate Blanchett's character gets hers at the end when she, goes nuts because they give her all the knowledge of the universe. And that's the same thing that happened to fucking Mola Ram at the end of Temple of Doom. It's the same thing that happened to
Raiders
what's
of the
his
Lost
name?
Ark.
Yes,
mentioned the face melting earlier.
Yeah, right. Bullock and Tote and the German dude. And the
Alfred
same.
Molina gets his comeuppance in the first movie, the very beginning.
Well, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
You throw me the idol, I throw you the whip. Adios, Dr. Jones.
And then he dies.
Then he fucking dies.
Right into a world of
Right,
spikes.
and he runs into the lake where the spikes come out at night.
Whoa.
Thank you.
You just wrote a hit.
No, just I think, like you say,
Damn it. Come
what?
on,
Just
soundboard.
play it.
You are nothing but garbage, yeah. Nothing but garbage.
Sorry,
Glenn.
Moment fast.
I didn't want your frustration prevent you from playing whatever it was. I can slow down. And I love seeing you with the soundboard. It's real cute.
I'm proud of you, buddy.
I can't believe you and Ashley made the soundboard and you've raised it in such a beautiful little
Wait, are you
soundboard.
talking about my kid or the soundboard?
Oh.
Hey.
So
Nice.
there's a lot of delay on that.
I know. That one
Like,
really.
you play it.
Yeah.
Do one. I want to see how long it takes.
Godspeed,
Okay, that's a good one. Objectively, you said Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance is
Yes.
not a good movie,
No.
but you love it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Objectively, to me, a lot of people gave it, again, a lot of piss because it was, cash grab, whatever you want to call it. But it's a legitimate Indiana Jones movie, and
Yeah.
it's a good movie to me. If that's what you're looking for in an Indiana Jones movie, that's what you got.
That's what you get, man.
And why are you so pissed about it? I don't get why people get upset. So, all you who don't like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, just eat a fat one.
Wow.
Ew, fuck you. Yes! You're going to have to clip off eat a fat one now.
Yeah. Have you ever had this hot dog? Eat a fat one. At a grocery store near
Hebrew
you.
National, eat a fat one. Yes! Okay,
That's the slogan.
so what time is it?
Oh, you know what time it is?
Pizza time.
No.
Long.
I gotta go first, right?
Yeah, because I went first last
It's a long box.
Long box.
These are long backs.
It's your long box.
You know what you are?
Having sex with him.
It doesn't make any sense. All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Back in the 90s, there was a big comic book boom, a lot of back issues. There was a big boom with the secondary comic book market, and it all fell apart naturally because and the comic book companies got into it, and variant covers and chromium and die cut and holograms and look, it's packaged in a book, and it was just really stupid, right? But we all bought into it too, and what we failed to recognize is that forever, as long as comic books secondary market has been out there, it is about one thing: rarity and what happens in it. Okay, if something significant happens in an issue, but there's a billion copies, nobody fucking cares. Okay, the reason why the first appearance of Cable is so rare and worth a lot is because there weren't that many copies printed. At the time, New Mutants was on a very all-time low sales, so they didn't make that many copies. So they had no idea that Cable was going to blow up like that. So the original... Now, there's a billion second printings, but the actual first issue, there's not a lot of them, right? Amazing Fantasy number 15. Yes, definitely. First appearance of Spider-Man. But more than anything... rare. There's like 10 in existence. Same thing with Action Comics number 1. Yes, first appearance of Superman, but there's like 5, okay? So, but us idiots are going to the comic book store and trying to find all these independent comic books because we do know that it's about rarity.
Yeah, take a minute.
And so we would buy, like, I remember I bought this like Fly number 1 from this really crappy comic book company, and then this other number 1. And basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the next, comic book that you bought for $1.50 and 6 months later is worth $6,000, right? Which is not happening to us. But it allowed us to check out a lot of independent comic books like Flaming Carrot and The Tick. Now, if you like Mystery Men, that's where it comes
Yeah,
from, is
Flaming
the
Carrot.
Flaming Carrot comic books. I urge you to read Flaming Carrot. It's so fucking good. But The Tick was another one. And they, pretty soon after, has had a really good run with secondary media. They've had a cartoon and 2 live-action shows. Now, I love the
First one is
live-action.
only 9 episodes.
Right,
so-
it's only one season, but I love that show. I love it, because Patrick Warburton is awesome. He's so good at it, right?
Yeah.
I love the costume. It's very much a product of its time.
Batmanuel.
Batmanuel is fucking
Yeah.
great.
Who's the Liberty one? Miss Liberty or
I
something?
think it's just Miss Liberty,
Yeah.
but
what was Ron Perlman? Because that was the episode when Ron Perlman shows up
he
as
was
a sidekick.
yeah, the Flamer.
Something like that.
But
yeah.
Arthur and the sidekick became like friends and stuff because they were like, we're sick of being treated that,
Yeah.
But yeah, Ron Perlman was like Fireball, and like his buddy was like, Sparks or some shit. But that show knew what it was. It's very much a product of its time. You watch it now, you're like, wow, this was made in the 90s. And then the cartoon I didn't watch too much, but I enjoyed it. I think the live action show was
Bipolar Bear joke was in one of the episodes that I watched, and it was the fucking villain gets out of bed and goes, "Actually, no. On second thought, I'm just gonna lay down." And he goes back to it, like just like little gags like that,
Right.
Or the fucking chair face man or whatever his name was.
Yes. Just so much, and obviously they could do a lot more with the cartoon than they could with live action and whatnot. But just really great. And in 2016, Amazon decided to make a show, The Tick. And I was like, why are they doing this? The Tick.
But it's the same writer each time too. Same
That's
creator.
the thing. What I'm getting at, Ben Edlund was the executive producer on the Patrick Warburton show, on the cartoon, and on this. And that's
I'm
why.
pretty sure he was a showrunner on all three.
Yes. And so I accept whatever he's going to do with his character because he made the fucking character up.
Yeah.
So I don't care what he does. And even though this show is vastly different from the first live action show, much different.
It's more adult.
It's more centered around.
Because the last one was on Fox. This is on Amazon Prime. It's a little bit different.
There's a lot more swearing, a lot more violence to kind of go with the times that we're in right now. And a lot of the shows that are being made right now kind of have that going with it. But it makes the shows better. I'm sorry. It does. Fuck off. No, but it's a really good show. And some people could say that Peter
I
Serafinowicz...
only watched the first season.
Peter Serafinowicz is projecting, Patrick Warburton. Not so much. You watch the cartoon, and that's
No,
the
it's
Tick's.
consistent with the Tick.
That's the Tick's voice is heroic and boisterous and loud.
kind of an idiot.
It's not his fault that Patrick Warburton's natural voice is boisterous and loud and heroic. Okay, he's a beautiful man. Sorry,
He's got a great voice.
I'm a big Patrick Warburton fan.
Who isn't?
Assholes.
We're pro Patrick Warburton pod.
Fuck yeah, dude. I want to hang out and have a beer. If I'm not mistaken, this Peter Serafinowicz guy, he was in Spy with Melissa McCarthy. He was the European dude who kept trying to get on her. He was in Parks and Rec.
He's also on Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
He's Pete in Shaun of the Dead.
Yes. So he's been in a lot of
That's
stuff,
what I
and he's
remember
funny
most
as
of.
shit.
He had his own sketch show in England.
But the show is really, really funny. The different types of gags. It's still the same writer, still the same, and it's a little more obviously a
also
little more
Guardians of the
violent. Will
Galaxy.
you stop? I didn't.
I'm sorry. Yes, he's great in that show.
No, but the point is that I really liked it. I'm about halfway through season 1, and I think it's only 2 seasons so far.
I think it might have been 3. 2 or
It's
3.
2 that's on Amazon.
Okay, then it's only 2.
1 was in 2016, and 2 came out in 2019.
Yeah.
So, there's a little bit of time lapse between the 2. I just like that there's a show that I can kind of binge a little bit, that I enjoy. I really like The Tick, and I
I'd
didn't
have to go back and rewatch it.
I didn't start I started off watching it, and Arthur's dad got killed by, the Terror killing the Flag 5 with weaponized syphilis and then shooting them to death in front of him after their plane crashed on Arthur's dad. That's how, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not in the original, I don't know if it's in the comics, I don't know, but I think my favorite thing is that it's not a continuation, but it's the same type of gags and everything. It's the same writer, and no matter what they want to do with the story, it's their story. So if they want to change it drastically,
changes these things, but Arthur and the Tick are the same each time. Whether
Pretty much.
it was a cartoon or
Same
the live action
characters.
show or the Amazon live action show. Like Arthur is always like nervous and a little sheepish a little bit.
Yep.
And the
Tick
Tick is
doesn't know who
boisterous and an idiot and
but he
trusts
doesn't know who
everybody.
he is.
and-
Yeah, he doesn't know where he's from.
yeah. He's just he
fucking
is just
spoil
a fucking force of nature. Really.
I fucking love the Tick, dude.
I've only seen the first season. I should go back and rewatch it.
Yeah.
And watch the second season.
Well, no. One last thing.
Son of a bitch.
Do you remember how I was talking about the cutting and everything?
Yeah, and Gen
the
V.
hand, right? And Last of Us and all these fucking really good shows that make that stupid mistake. There's a part where Dot, Arthur's sister, one of her things is that she does like surgery for extra money for the mob. Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
I don't remember much from that show. It's been a while since I watched.
But his sister, Arthur's sister, is a girl named Dot, blonde, and she's a EMT, and on the side she does shit for the mob. Right? She's a helps
Pizza time.
the doctor, or whatever. And at one point, the guy who hires her calls her over and like, hey, I need your help because this guy got shot. And she comes into the room and she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm trying to get the bullet out. And she's like, you fucking idiot. And I know this. Okay, I know this from reading a lot of stuff and studying and things that no, the worst thing you can do, but they do it in every fucking movie and TV show, the worst thing you can do with a gunshot victim is dig the fucking bullet out. You know how much extra damage you're doing? Extra damage. You don't know where that bullet is. What are you doing? Stop it.
yeah.
And she literally says, why the fuck would you do that? You watch too much TV. And the guy's like, you really going to leave the bullet in me? And she's like, afraid so. And it's the truth. It's medically truth. You do not dig bullets out of people.
What do you do?
You just leave them in there. You stitch them up.
They'll just disintegrate.
I don't know. I've never been shot. Knock on wood.
Well, guess what we're doing later.
We're going to test this theory.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't get any through and throughs. We
Yeah.
want that bullet to lodge right near your spine.
Speaking of holes through you when you get shot,
But that's
From
my
Dusk Till
tick.
Dawn is my movie.
Yeah.
'Cause Quentin Tarantino gets shot.
I'm going to
dude.
step on you real quick. Not right now.
Wait, you gonna name all the George Clooney movies you've seen?
Go ahead.
So my movie is From Dusk Till Dawn, which very similar to Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. I love it because it picks a tone and kind of it just sticks with
It's
it.
fucking bonkers.
It's an absolutely insane movie because half of the movie is a traditional like Robert Rodriguez take on a Quentin Tarantino movie, like of the time.
Starring Quentin Tarantino.
Exactly. He wrote the screenplay. This is Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Tarantino. And and it feels like that, and then the movie takes a hard left turn and it somehow makes it even better. Cuz it takes that left turn, commits to it and just goes with it.
Can I ask you a real quick question?
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember the movie correctly, but when it goes straight to like straight up like bloody gore, violent horror in the second half,
Yeah.
there's a lot of Sam Raimi shots. I think Rodriguez
Very
grew
like
up.
Evil Dead inspired. Yeah.
There's a lot of those weird
of
like
slapstick,
POV, like where
crazy
the camera's
shots.
going like shaking, like running towards like a thing that's supposed to,
Yeah.
like about to blow up.
And the more you watch it, the more you're like, it makes sense that Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez teamed up and made Grindhouse, which we'll talk about later as a tease.
That's a fucking tease and a half.
Oh yeah, don't you edge me. Anyway,
Edge Lord.
that's a drop right there. That's a segment.
I just dropped my edge.
That's what we call the tease for each new episode, the Edge Lord.
Here's the Edge Lord for next week.
But you can definitely and I will say the movie has its problems. The scene. So the whole thing with the Gecko brothers is we get the idea that they're the bank robbers. That opening scene, it's insane that we start there and end up where we do at the end of this movie. Because again, it is shot in such a serious Tarantino style.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so well acted. The dude with the counter, we had Michael Parks. Dude, fucking Michael Parks, man.
Yeah.
Good and everything.
Mm.
And having him like have this like Tarantino banter, and then he goes to take a piss, and then the scene gets pulled in, and then you're like, oh yeah, we're doing this movie because it's immediately with fucking George Clooney, which Still blows my mind that he was in this movie.
Well, this
I
was
mean, this was before he was a star.
this was one of his breakout roles.
Because he was on ER at the time.
Peacemaker was like his first movie,
Yeah.
which is not a good
Not
movie.
John Cena.
No,
Yeah.
with Nicole Kidman. I can't remember who did it. A good director made it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but this was like his second movie, I think. And I think he was still in the mode of like, let's do
He's not
whatever.
even fully gray yet in this movie.
No, he's still got the fucking Caesar cut, dude.
Yeah. This is ER era George Clooney, and he's great. Tarantino's
He's great in everything, dude.
serviceable. Like, it does a good job of making you like start to like see like you start to like Seth by the end of it because it's just like so ridiculous at this point. The problems I have is Richie's character, Quentin Tarantino's character.
Yeah.
Because they don't show it, but he sexually assaults and kills a woman when they have her as a hostage.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't remember that. And rewatching, I was like, I understand narratively why he made that choice to make it the differentiate. Because at the time, you still think Seth is a shitty person. And this was a way to show you that, like, Richie is, like, a lot. He is the one that's caught. Because you already have the scene where he shoots that guy. Because like, he mouthed, help us. Even though we know that he didn't, but he heard that. And, again, Tarantino pays it off later when Juliette Lewis is in the room. And it's showing you that Richie has delusions. Because he said, once you left, man, she was a different person and this happened. And he's like, you don't fucking do this, man. We're thieves. We don't kill people that we don't have to, and we definitely don't fucking do that,
Yeah.
I understand it, but you could have just had him, like, killing her would have been enough for me. Adding in that extra layer of sexual assault was like, what was the... Again, they don't show anything, but it's still like, eh. And it also does a job of saying, like, I don't really give a shit about Richie dying later in this movie at all.
So,
but anyway...
Yeah. Real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
Quentin, hold your thought. Do you got it?
You know what, man? You deserve it, because I stepped on your tick.
No, but do you got it? I don't want you to... Okay. So, another movie that came out in the 90s around this time, which was Quentin Tarantino written, Natural Born Killers.
Yeah.
One of
Woody
my...
Harrelson.
Great movie, right? Great movie. Do you remember the part where Woody Harrelson rapes a woman?
No, I don't.
Okay, they're driving through the town or whatever, and he just decides to pick up and that's when she drives away and goes and makes that dude eat her pussy on the hood of the car. Because he's doing that. I remember buying the movie, right, on DVD, and like 10, 15 years ago, and I'd completely forgotten about that part, right? And I'm watching the movie, and I enjoy the movie still. That part is still like, what the fuck, right? Because why is it necessary? Why do you have it in there?
Yeah.
The point is that I forgot about it, and then I saw that, and I'm like, the rest of the movie is just not the same as I remember it, because every time I'm like, why did you have to have that part in there? Like, what narratively does it say? I already don't like Mickey. I already don't like him. You're not supposed to. You don't have to make it like very.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It just seems
It's
like
that extra
Tarantino
layer
had a
of
problem
shit.
with that, in my opinion.
It's that extra layer of shit. Why is it necessary?
Fucking.
But I just want to point.
mean,
That's a very similar situation where it's like,
Bruce-
why do you have to add that shit?
Ving Rhames gets sexually assaulted in Pulp Fiction. Like, he has a weird thing with that. I don't know.
He did. Diana Krall. He
I don't
actually
know. We're getting off-
but in Inglourious Bastards, when she's choked out on POV
chokes
screen,
her.
he's the one who does it, and he actually caused her to lose consciousness.
Ugh, weird.
But to be fair, she said okay for
Yeah,
the movie.
well, Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We got off topic. It's like it's in the name of
What
the show.
the fuck?
Whoa, jeez.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Anyway, so it takes that hard left turn when they finally go to the bar, the Titty Twister, which is just amazing.
It's almost like the busted
But
lip
Cheech Marin plays 3 fucking characters in this movie because he
because he's cheap.
he plays the border guard
Yeah.
when they're trying to cross into Mexico. He fucking plays the barker in the front of the Titty Twister.
Mhm.
And I did not remember he says pussy as many fucking times as he does. He goes, we got this pussy, that pussy. And he just keeps naming off different pussy. And he starts naming animal puss. And he's like, if you can find pussy anywhere else, fuck it. But the angle and it's Cheech Marin, so it's fucking funny. But the angle is up underneath his crotch. And he goes, fuck it, and he looks directly at the camera. And there's shots like that you remember, like, oh, yeah, this is a Robert Rodriguez movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Rodriguez breaks the fourth wall all the fucking
Rodriguez
time.
does something weird, like, so interesting with Tarantino, where, like, I think he brings out the little bit more fun side. And because, again, Tarantino wrote this script, and Rodriguez directed it. Even before that, I gotta talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack of this movie is fucking crisp. Tito and Tarantula, the band in the bar, they're great. The is it the Bleecker song, Dark Night, when it's hot air hangs like a dead man. That one, you heard it? You know what I'm talking about?
Kinda.
At the beginning of the movie, they blow up the liquor store, and they go, Dark Night, boom, doom, 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 doom. That's a good song. Great song, and opens and closes the movie. And then that's a shot, too, where you see the title card. I'm like, God damn it, is this a Robert Rodriguez movie? Because it comes up from the bottom, and it's just big red front, From Dusk Till Dawn. And then it just has, like, all the stars on it real fast. It was like, you could tell this was the early DNA of the Grindhouse stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And once they get to that bar and they start turning into vampires, it's so insane.
They
and
were
it's amazing.
I think you could probably find interviews when they're talking about Grindhouse where they talked about
based on like a 70s exploitation movie.
where they talked about working on From Dusk Till Dawn and how they were like, dude, we got to do this again someday.
Yeah.
Like somehow.
Rodriguez came back and made the series on the El Rey network a couple years ago.
Huh.
Good luck trying to find that.
Like
I should have watched it when it was on
need
Netflix.
to.
No, but he is executive producer on it, so
Yeah.
he like expands the lore of the bar and the El
You know
Rey
what's
shit.
awesome about Robert Rodriguez and a lot of people don't know?
Do not talk about those sequels. I don't want to watch those.
No. Spy Kids.
Yeah.
He's behind
Shark
all the
Boy
Spy
and Lava
Kids
Girl.
movies. Dude, motherfucker made a mint off of those. He can do whatever kind of movies he wants the rest of his life.
He does stuff. He does a lot of things. Like he made movies for his kids for a while, and he did a lot of.
Dude, Banderas is in it, and the reason why is because he's like, dude, I want to make a movie for my kids.
He would go back and forth with making those, and then after he did that, he went back to he did the Grindhouse stuff. Then he
I
did,
got no problem with a man doing what he needs to do to feed his family.
There you go. But it's a great shot when you go into the bar and he's like, this is my kind of place. And then they got the dancers and you don't think about it until you've seen the movie already, but I'm like, yeah, that does look ancient. Like, that's the thing. They don't realize that this bar is like this Mayan temple because I didn't even think about it until I was watching it again. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, the interior looks like it still looks archaic. Like, there's like obviously stuff in there for a bar, like a jukebox and like all that stuff. But then when you already know what happens, you kind of pick on. And there's like fun little touches like that. And the whole Harvey Keitel's great in this movie.
Of course, he's great in everything.
His whole dynamic with George Clooney, Seth and Jacob's dynamic is great. When like one of my favorite parts is when he keeps pouring shots and slamming the shot glass down. And Jacob's like, why are you so pissy? And he's like, why are you so upset? And he's like, because I'm still stewing about that guy. So I'm going to finish this bottle and break it over his fat fucking head or something like that. And he's like, are you such a loser you don't know you've won? Like, he's like, you're in Mexico. You outran the cops. You're like, stop being a dick. And then he's just like, all right, have a drink with me. And I was like, that was such a cool little character thing. But then you have moments like that, and then you also talk about the movie where Salma Hayek's head turns into a fucking snake for some reason.
So,
and also, of course, Tarantino wrote this movie because there's a close-up shot on Juliette Lewis's feet, and then he literally wrote the scene where Salma Hayek will shove her toes down his mouth. Because he wrote the screenplay.
Now, here's one thing. We, as movie-going audiences, at least I, did not really know who Salma Hayek was at this point.
She's like late 20s.
We don't really know who this incredible. What the fuck is this? Who? Wow. What? Is that a real person? Because I've never seen somebody so beautiful. And I remember very distinctly, like, afterwards, like, that's what a lot of people talked about was, like, how fun it was and who the fuck was that? Yeah. Like, Jesus. Like,
also,
wow.
Danny Trejo's great.
Still, just like, oh.
I love the part where he's like, This bar's for bikers and truckers. Harvey Keitel's like, well, I got an RV. That's technically, I have a license to drive a truck, so I am a truck driver. And this is like the whole Cheech payoff where they finally turn into. Oh, so when Tarantino gets shot, Richie gets shot in the hand at the beginning. They pay that off again where Danny Trejo stabs him in the same spot, which I thought was still a funny gag because it already has the hole and everything. They break out in a fight, then we find out the vampires and all that stuff. And then when we get to that point, it's kind of like, whoa. Like the first time you see it, you're like, what the hell's going on? And then after I've seen it a few times, I'm like, it's just, even then, it's just like, I love how quickly it just goes nuts. Similar to Evil Dead 2. Like, we're in it now. The gonzo shit's happening now. We're in it. One of my favorite parts is when, also, Tom Savini is fucking sex machine. And then Greg Nicotero is like his friend at the bar that he like steals the whole sex machine with the 6 shooters that look like a dick. Like, what do we do? So funny. And I forgot how funny his transition sequence is. Because he's the only one you actually see the transition happen after he gets bit. And he's sitting there and they're like, the women are like, kill them, like whispering at him. And he's like, what the hell? And then he like moves his tongue around and then he feels his teeth and he like comically like covers his mouth like, oh shit, and then his hands turn into claw. Like, it's funny because he's slowly turning and like you never actually see like a comical thing. It's just like, I'm a monster now. And he had a whole fun fight with Fred Clark, I think was his name, and then he turns into one. And then like,
I don't think I've seen this movie for like 20 years or more.
oh god, you gotta rewatch it. It's insane.
Well, I will, but
There's a
stop
scene where
spoiling
he,
it.
Like he flips over a table and stakes 4 different vampires on each leg of the table. It's shit like that. And it's just like, God, I love this movie.
Yeah.
And then the climactic scene where the guy that was supposed to meet Seth finally shows up. It's the sun comes up and they shoot open the door and then they explode, which very Raimi-like explosion.
Right.
And then fucking his character's like, you know what was in there? Like George Clooney, like, you know what was fucking in there? And he's like, if all the shitty rundown hellholes you could have picked in Mexico, why this one? It's like, what happened in there, man? What were they? And he's like, I don't know. What do you fucking think? And he's like, were they psychos? I don't care. The best line of the movie is when he's like, psychos don't explode when they hit sunlight. I don't care how fucking crazy they are. It was like such a good way to end that movie. From Dusk Till Dawn. Big fan.
I love you.
Okay, buddy.
Okay.
You know what? You know what I say to you from Dusk Till Dawn? I say,
yes! It is a great movie. It is great.
is it? I would say it's a movie. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
It's a movie.
It's a movie. Yeah, so next week we
Tease, yeah.
got a couple things coming up next week.
We were thinking about the Grindhouse movies. And I said, I think Planet Terror is better than Death Proof.
Yeah.
And you said, I disagree. Death Proof is better than Planet Terror. So next week, it's the Grindhouse debate.
The great debate.
Think of the monster
So,
cereal debate, but the Grindhouse.
Do we each have to watch both?
I feel like we have to, yeah. We got a week.
I haven't watched.
I'm pretty sure they're on 2.
Here's why I definitely need to watch Planet Terror again is because I don't remember it that well.
I don't remember either movie that well.
I remember Death Proof pretty well because I've seen it more recently.
Yeah, Rose McGowan has a machine gun leg.
That's Planet
That's
Terror.
pretty much all you need to know about Planet Terror.
Yeah.
And they're like zombies. But Kurt Russell though, see, I don't know. Maybe our opinions will flip on the Grindhouse.
They
The
should.
Grind.
They
It's
should.
Jake versus Tyler.
Next week. The
on the
grind on the
Grindhouse
Grindhouse.
debate thing.
We're gonna grind on the grind.
We're not grinding. We're not into that. I mean, like, that's cool if you are, but we're not doing it. Is what I'm saying. Grindhouse.
I hope your next week isn't a grind.
House.
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.